The Texas House has approved legislation, and now it will go to the Senate, involving adoption agencies and how they can discriminate against parents who are looking to adopt based on their genuine religious beliefs. Now, let me give you some more details. According to the Texas Tribune, under House Bill 3859, which advanced on a 94-51 vote, child welfare providers would be protected from legal retaliation if they assert their sincerely held religious beliefs while caring for abused and neglected children. The measure would allow them to place a child in a religion-based school, deny referrals for abortion-related contraceptives, drugs or devices, and refuse to contact with other organizations that don't share their religious beliefs. So at the heart of this legislation is the idea that whether you are publicly or privately funded, if you are an adoption agency that has a religious belief, a sincerely held religious belief, and you disagree with the lifestyle of certain individuals, you don't have to adopt kids to them, right? If they're gay, they're Jewish, Muslim, right? It's insane, especially when you consider the fact that there are tens of thousands of kids in Texas right now that need to be adopted.
So they say, look, this is my religious freedom. My freedom says I get to discriminate against you. Now, first, just be honest about what your freedom means. You want to be able to discriminate. Okay, now, and you might say, look, in a religious context, that there's some logic in that. I discriminate by being a Baptist because I'm not a Lutheran, I'm not a Methodist. I decided that I'm going to be a Baptist. And now, on the other hand, it doesn't mean that you should go, do something terrible to a Lutheran or a Jewish person or a Muslim person or anything along those lines. Now, so where does this fall in that spectrum? Well, if you want to run a Baptist adoption service and you want to discriminate against Jews and Muslims and gay people, I think you should be allowed to. It's America, okay? You're allowed to do that. But and that discrimination would take the form of, I'm just going to help good Baptist families get kids. I don't want to help the Jews get kids. I just don't want to help them. I'm not Jewish, I'm Baptist, okay? But, and this is a very important but, you can't use government money, that's all of our money, that's my money, to help you discriminate. Go discriminate with your own money. Say, hey, you know what, I got this wonderful Baptist thing and I don't like or whether you don't like them or you're indifferent to Jews, Muslims, gays, etc., whatever, but I'm not helping them, I'm not helping them. Great, with your own money, do whatever the hell you like, okay? But if you're gonna use government money, and they do, it's backed by government money, I don't want you to use my money to discriminate against, first of all, anyone, but also people like me.
No, I'm gonna go even further than that, okay? I don't care how you're funded. You should not be allowed to discriminate, especially when it involves the well-being of a child that needs to be adopted, okay? You guys are gonna run your mouths about how women should not be allowed to have abortion, should not be allowed to access contraceptives because you care about the lives of these children so much. And then you're gonna turn around and say, no, these kids need a home, but I don't like that person because she's gay. I don't like that person because he's Jewish. I don't like that couple because they're Muslim. I mean, think about how incredibly destructive these policies are. You guys are literally in the business of destroying lives. You're not in the business of doing good, okay? If you want to use your religious status to persecute women for their reproductive rights or persecute certain individuals because they don't fit your perfect little cookie cutter lifestyle, well, then you're a bad person, you're destructive. You're destructive to the country, you're destructive to that state, and you're gonna ruin the lives of these kids who, again, are in need of a loving home.
So I'm agnostic, for example. So if I'm in Texas and I want to adopt a kid, me and my wife do, and they say, no, we're gonna take your money in Texas and then we're gonna make sure with that money you're not allowed to adopt kids because we want to just go into Christians and not to no good agnostics or atheists like you. Well, what the hell? You're not allowed to discriminate against me with my own money. That's insanity. So even if you don't agree with Anna, and I do, but if you don't, you've got to agree that you can't say to a Jewish guy in Texas, no, I'm gonna take your money and then I'm gonna use it to discriminate against you and make sure you're not allowed to adopt kids. What? That's insane.
I'm so tired of these people. I'm tired of how illogical they are. I'm tired of them pretending like they're so self-righteous and they're so great when in reality they are destructive, okay? Now, real quick, I do want to toss to a video from KRIS TV from Corpus Christi, Texas. A good friend of the show, Stefania Jimenez, shared this with us. Let's take a quick look. It interviews some people who have already felt the burden of this type of legislation.
We've had a couple of people call wanting to adopt a child because they were refused at another agency due to being gay or lesbian.
Supporters say the bill would protect faith-based agencies from being sued, and LGBT couples will be able to work with other agencies who don't have religious objections. But others say it's discrimination.
I worry about this idea that somehow we've decided that it's okay to just blatantly discriminate against people and not put kids in homes with parents who are suited to raise them.
So there's one other part of this. You know, all the talk of the Judeo-Christian heritage, and you remember the Orthodox Jewish reporter who asked Donald Trump a question and Trump told him to sit down? He made a great point about this when he was on the Young Turks before that. He's like, I don't remember the Judeo-Christian heritage in the 1930s or 40s, right? All of a sudden, oh, they're all about the Judeo-Christian heritage and how much they love Israel, etc. But the minute you open up a door that allows them to discriminate, they're like, not the gays, not the Muslims, and of course not the Jews, right? So don't open the door, that's what this leads to. And if you're proud of your discrimination, etc., keep it to yourself. Under no circumstances should government money that we all pay taxes for be used to make sure that these loving families who are looking to adopt people and help them live and prosper, which should be a pro-life position, are banned from doing so from these agencies because some people wanted their religious freedom to discriminate against you.
Yeah, it's funny because we never have discussions about freedom from religion, right? Because religion is not supposed to dictate the lives of every single person. One specific type of religion is not supposed to dictate the lives of every single person in this country. But over and over again, it's one specific religion dictating the lives of every single American. And it drives me absolutely insane. There's no logic behind it. A lot of times it's irrational. And in this particular case, it really, really gets under my skin, especially when you consider how many of these kids do need to find a home, do need to find a loving family. And these are individuals who are going to these adoption agencies and making a huge sacrifice because they want to be parents, they want to help.
And this vote wasn't even close. It passed the House 93-49. They're like, oh yeah, discrimination, it's awesome, let's do it. It's Texas, man, that's the Texan way.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right, Anna. It drives me crazy every time. Like, what? You know what it reminds me of course? Sharia law. This is what fundamentalist Muslims say. No, you're not allowed to draw the Prophet Muhammad. But why? I'm not Muslim. I don't believe what you believe.
Right.
No, my rules apply to everybody, right? And here's Christians saying you're not allowed to adopt these kids, even if you're using government money. Why? I'm not a Christian.
What if I don't know, a group of entrepreneurs in Texas who happen to be Muslim start some sort of adoption agency and they decide we will only adopt these kids to Muslim families and that's it.
And
no
what
Christians,
if they say,
no nothing. Would you guys be okay with that?
And they say, look, this is our interpretation of Sharia law. And we think, of course we're gonna discriminate against Christians. Christians are totally wrong. They don't believe in the Prophet Muhammad. There's something wrong with Christians. Of course we wouldn't let poor Texas babies go to dirty, wrong Christian families.
Right.
And by the way, give me your government money. Give me your government money, and I'm gonna make sure that Christians and the Jews can't get your kids.
And it goes beyond religion. If you're an interracial couple and they don't like that, they can use that as an excuse as well.
Membership helps fund the Young Turks. You know one great thing about that? That means we're not accountable to anyone but you guys. That's why we're strong together, because we built this show around you. Come build it even bigger and better at tytnetwork.com/join.